MiniLadd, whose full name is Craig Thompson, has been exposed for using his position of power over young fans to gain nude pictures from them. Two women came forward on June the 23rd, 2020 to share their stories, independent of each other, exposing the series of events where MiniLadd coerced them into sending underage pictures of themselves. The two victims were aged 16 and 17. Both of their stories we will be investigating in this video. Since Craig was exposed, he has apologised multiple times, alongside taking breaks off social media to focus on his mental health. First off, let's look at the statements his alleged victims made. One statement posted in a twit longer by a young woman named Hallie revealed how Craig would manipulate and power trip her in order to get things that he wanted from her. She was a minor at the time that this happened. I was manipulated by MiniLadd. I was 16/17. He was 20 plus. First off, I want to say that I am not doing this because I hate him. I am disappointed in him. There is a difference. I am not doing this for malicious intent as well. He has rejected help and told the internet he would get therapy and then never did. And even after so many years, to hear that his actions of arrogance have not decreased makes me feel like a fool for not sharing the sooner in protection of any other women who associate themselves with him. Craig has always been a friend of mine, but it never felt genuine at all. Sure, he helped me in times of need, and for that I'm forever grateful for that side of him. But the things he has said and done to others, such as myself, makes me question if he is truly humble or not, with the support that he has given me personally. When I was 16, around the time Craig and his ex had broken up, he was severely depressed. I saw the dark side of him with his depression, and I will choose out of respect to keep that private unless it involves what I will be talking about. It took me years to realise that he used his tendencies to pity him into not talking about these things publicly. The fact that I can't look at his name without thinking about the shit he did really bugs me to this day. So, that being said, this is my story. I honestly do not remember when or why Craig and I started talking more. I think it was more so I was worried for him and tried to be a good friend because of the breakup at the time, so I was there for him, direct messaging him through Twitter during my class, listening to his worries about his ex, or even just to talk. Then things started to get more personal and darker with the conversations. He would go to me for venting to see if there were ways to get back to his ex or help her change and whatnot. Of course, me trying to be a good friend, I listened to everything he had to say and even said, sure, there is hope in changing her, and shit like that. Even talked about her with him, which was very wrong of me. I'll admit, I was being a bit of an ass kisser. Reason being was, I had a crush on him. He knew that. I had to sometimes sit and listen to him talk about how he got an erection over his ex or whatever, despite him knowing how I felt about him. But then, don't remember why, but we were joking around to where I said something about his being small. I guess he took it personally, as you will see in the replies of our conversation that started on Twitter, that he moved to Discord so he could delete photos he sent me. He sent me pictures of him in his underwear to show off his bulge of his pants, which I did not ask for at all. I want to clarify to the reason I was acting cool with it was because I had an effing crush on him, so whatever, right? And so didn't really know better. Remember, I was a minor. I was 16. He knew that I liked him. Sent me those photos to someone he knew liked him for a boost of ego. The worst part is, I was not the only person he had done this to. With someone else who will come out that I will retweet, she experienced much more weird shit to say to an effing minor. That will be Ash's place to say. I think a year after the situation happened, with him sending me photos, I confronted him about it and he apologised and said he knew he hurt me and regrets it. However, it makes me question if he said that just so I didn't turn against him and help expose him. The fact that I even had to question it, even to this day, truly says a lot. Ash was at one point going to expose him, but me being the fool I was, I defended Craig. I was blinded by his lies and manipulation. He told me he did not know of Ash much and never talked to her in a dating manner and whatnot. He also said he didn't know she was underage, saying that Ash told him she was 18. All of that was a lie. I eventually caught him in that lie and went back to him and asked him if it was really him in a Snapchat screenshot that I'll post below. He confessed and I was utterly distraught. I couldn't even talk to him for a day. He begged and begged me to talk to him. Eventually I did, and he fully admitted he was scared I would turn against him. Reading back our messages to myself, I felt like he wasn't scared to lose our friendship, but his career. That was it. When he and Sammy got together, I told him if he was to date her, he should be honest about the creepy shit he has done. He said that he would, then later told me he wouldn't. I shrugged it off and had hope maybe he would come to his senses. I only just found out now that he never said a damn word to her, and I had to be the one to tell Sammy. The only reason it was brought up though before with the whole "you should tell her" was because he was being threatened to be exposed by someone who I will not publicly name, who was friends with Ash. He was scared of losing his career and how it would ruin his friendships. Craig, if you didn't want that, you shouldn't have done what you did in the first place, and not excused your actions with being depressed and suicidal. You manipulated me into keeping my mouth shut for so long because I was terrified of what you could do to yourself. That goes for a lot of people who knew about this situation. There is no excuse for you being the way you were with underage girls such as myself at the time. I still believe you can get help. I know you're a good person, but you need therapy. Stop running away from it. Stop saying you don't need it. And never lie to your fans about taking it again. You know your supporters deserve better than that. You're human enough to realise that. I really tried to be a good friend. I, even to this day, tried to be one, but this can't sit right with me. Especially that still to this day, every time I see your name, I think about everything. Now, all of that being said, the very firm reasons I've come out with this is: 1. His behaviour towards minors was inappropriate. He was an adult. 2. I don't want this to happen to others. 3. I am hoping he takes ownership of his actions towards me, others, and get the help he very much needs. 4. I feel like a heavy weight will be lifted off me sharing this story. Thank you for listening to me. Stay safe, everyone. After this story broke, Craig obviously received backlash. Not long after the story went viral, another fan named Ash shared her experience with Craig. She was only 17 at the time, and Craig had done similar things to her. My experience with MiniLadd. I was 17. When I was 16, I was a huge fan of Craig and his friends. I had made a fan account for him on Twitter to make friends with other people and became good friends with an amazing group of girls. We had a group chat where we talked daily and would often tweet Craig in hopes of being tweeted back. One of the girls in the group tweeted Craig asking if he wanted to join the group chat. By our surprise, he said yes. He followed the girl who had tweeted him initially and was added, where we all chatted for a little bit before he left. Nothing out of the ordinary happened, and we were so excited to have been able to talk to someone we looked up to. A little later, he followed me and sent me a DM to say that he would not have been added to the group chat if it hadn't have been for me. I was confused as I had no part in him joining the group chat, but was excited anyway. He told me if I ever needed anything, I could reach out, and then he began to discuss his recent breakup and how poorly it was affecting his mental health. So I told him he could do the same. I was over the moon to feel so close to the person I was infatuated with. We were casually friends for a while, with many tweets back and forth and the occasional DM. He added me on Snapchat where we chatted here and there, nothing super deep. Things took a sharp turn when we were chatting on Snapchat one day and the subject of virginity came up. He asked if I was a virgin and I said yes. He then asked if he could take my virginity and I told him yes. Things escalated from there, and it's hard to recall specifics from so long ago, especially from Snapchat where chat history gets deleted. I remember my family had a trip planned to California to visit family for my birthday, and he asked if I would be able to come over to his house to have sex. I told him that it would probably be a long shot because I was still 17 and my parents probably wouldn't let me out alone. My stepdad ended up having minor health complications that made us have to cancel our trip, a blessing in disguise. Although I never went to physically meet him, things continued to be sexual. We called a few times on Discord and he asked me for quite often. I initially told him I wasn't comfortable sending things like that, but I was afraid after a while he would lose interest, so I complied. I can't say exactly how many pictures/videos were exchanged, but it was quite a few. He initiated nearly every conversation because I was too intimidated to message him first in fear of bothering him. All of this went on for around 6 months, where we started messaging less and less. My infatuation died, and I was no longer looking through rose-tinted glasses. I gained a lot of perspective and felt used. Someone I looked up to and admired took advantage of that to get what he wanted. I ended up telling my friends who had no idea any of this was going on. They were outraged and wanted me to come forward right away. The only reason I didn't was to protect his girlfriend at the time. A few of his mods would do his dirty work for him and message me and my friends about wanting to come forward to keep us quiet. They defended him and would say he's changed and it's not worth ruining his career. I'm thankful for all the courageous women in genuine men who have come forward and shared their stories. Because of that, I feel I have a comfortable place to share mine. I'm also incredibly thankful for my friends for helping me and supporting me through all this. It's been a long back and forth of should I or shouldn't I. I've since moved on in the past 4 years and no longer associate with Craig or any of the people that tried to silence us. I'm glad I can finally heal. Both of these stories included multiple screenshotted receipts, which at the end of the day was hard evidence, especially the fact that the screenshots weren't accused of being fake. In fact, MiniLadd actually apologised for everything. Well, that's if you want to call it an apology. On June the 25th, 2020, he tweeted out the following after getting exposed by his 2 underage victims. Hi everyone. Many of you are probably aware by now of the allegations recently made online about my behaviour a few years ago. I've read through everything that was said and shared and understand how unacceptable my actions were. I take full responsibility for the inappropriate texts and messages I sent. I regret having said or sent anything that made anyone uncomfortable or upset. I am truly and deeply sorry for what I did. I absolutely should have done what was necessary at the time, and that was seeking professional help, realising that my actions were completely unacceptable, and working to change my behaviours from the inside out. Moving forward, I fully commit to working on myself, including going to therapy, rethinking and changing some of my life choices, and personally apologising to those I have harmed. I know it's hard to believe and I totally get it. I haven't given you a reason to trust me and I know I need to earn it, but that's on me to prove to you. I know there's no righting my wrongs here, and I want to express again how sorry I am to the people I've hurt and the fans I've let down. I have a long road of personal searching ahead of me, so that's my focus now. I will be back when the time is right. Take care of yourselves. After taking a break off social media for a couple of months, Craig took to his Twitter to explain where he was and what he'd been getting up to. Hi everyone, I hope you've all been good. For the last month and a half, I headed back to Northern Ireland and have been with family, focusing on bettering myself. It's been a crazy year for all of us, and I needed to take time away to work on my mental health. I got myself into therapy, and being back surrounded by family had been exactly what I needed. One important part of this ongoing journey has been unplugging from everyone and taking a step back from the internet. Being in Los Angeles so far away from my family had taken its toll on me. This whole process has been an emotional journey, but a necessary and eye-opening one, and I look forward to continuing down this path to a better and happier me. I want to say thank you to all my fans who have been sending me supportive messages. I'm forever grateful to all of you. You help me more than you know. I'm hopeful for the future. I'm excited to get back to work, and I'm going to continue to work on myself from here on out every single day. I hope you will stay safe out there. See you all soon. Cheers, Craig. A month later, Craig posted a video to his channel called Clearing the Air, which did not receive well. Craig was pretty positive and smiley in his apology video, if that's what you want to call it. He mainly talked about how he was attending therapy. Some of the comments read, "I'm sorry, Your Honour, my client has pleaded oopsie daisy. Hey pal, you just blown from Stupid Town?" Within the video, Craig also addressed a young fan who attended Camp 17, a summer camp that took place a few years ago that featured a bunch of YouTubers including MiniLadd. Allegedly, MiniLadd had made multiple underage girls at the camp uncomfortable and had made inappropriate conversations with them. Craig sort of addressed these allegations in his video, however he kind of just beat around the bush and made a bunch of excuses for himself. After posting multiple videos, some of which included playing children's games online, MiniLadd came out with another apology which he posted on the 29th of December 2020, and it was the worst apology video on the planet. He was about as transparent as the jump cuts he used. Craig talked about the underage victims he talked to and who he coerced explicit pics from. Basically, here's some comments that sum up his second apology video. "I'm not looking for sympathy. Fish for sympathy by saying he was suicidal. Video summarised in one word. Oopsie. Craig, I'm a failure. Everyone, yeah." So what are your thoughts on MiniLadd at this point? Let me know in the comments.